She has two phones. That's what the valet said as he jogged up to me in the dim glow of the parking garage under the Hyatt Regency in downtown Chicago, holding out a sleek black iPhone I had never seen before. I was already gripping my own keys, standing beside my car, confused, heart tapping harder than it should have. She said you'd probably come back for it, he added casually, like it meant nothing. But my wife had only ever owned one phone. I stared at the screen as it lit up in my hand. No lock, just a notification banner sliding across the top. Miss you already. Same room next Thursday. From a contact saved as D. That's when I realized something was very, very wrong. And I had no idea that holding that phone would destroy everything I thought my life was built on. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. My name is Daniel Carter, 36, financial analyst, Chicago-born and raised. And until that night, I thought I had a solid marriage. Emily and I had been together for 9 years, married for 6. No kids yet, by choice. We had a condo on West Loop, split bills, took vacations, hosted dinner parties. The kind of life that looks clean and stable from the outside. Emily worked in corporate marketing, sharp, polished, always moving. Always busy. Too busy, maybe. That thought didn't come immediately. Not at first. At first, I just stood there in that parking garage, staring at a phone that didn't belong to my reality. 2 phones. Why would she need 2 phones? I slipped it into my pocket. I told myself there was a reasonable explanation. Work. Burner device. Company issued. That's what I told myself as I drove home. But I didn't believe it. Not really. She was already home when I walked in. Sitting on the couch. Wine glass in hand. Netflix playing something neither of us would remember tomorrow. You're late, she said, glancing up. Traffic, I replied automatically. My heart was pounding. I could feel the weight of the second phone in my jacket like it was burning through the fabric. She didn't notice. Or if she did, she didn't show it. That's when the unease started to creep in. Because Emily noticed everything. We talked about nothing that night. Work. Groceries. A mutual friend's engagement. Normal. Too normal. Every time she reached for her phone, the one I knew, I watched closely. But there was nothing unusual. No second device. No nervous behavior. Just Emily. Calm. Composed. Untouchable. That's when doubt started to twist into something sharper. Was I wrong? Was this all in my head? I waited until she fell asleep. Then I went to the kitchen, turned off the lights, and pulled out the second phone. The screen lit up instantly. No passcode. No Face ID. Just open. That alone made my stomach drop. People don't leave important things unprotected. Unless they think no one else will ever see them. The messages were already open. The thread with D. I stared at it for a long time before scrolling. My thumb felt heavy. Like once I moved it, there was no going back. Then I scrolled. And everything fell apart. Can't stop thinking about yesterday. Next time, no rush. You looked incredible walking out of that hotel. Same room next Thursday? My vision blurred. Hotel. Thursday. I swallowed hard. Emily had told me she had late meetings on Thursdays. For months. I kept scrolling. Photos. Not explicit, but intimate enough. Her in a mirror. Smiling in a way I hadn't seen in a long time. The background unmistakable, a hotel room. Neutral tones. Generic art. White sheets. A life I wasn't part of. Then I saw his name. David Mercer. And my chest tightened. Because I knew exactly who that was. Her boss. That's when everything clicked into place. The late nights. The sudden work trips. The new dresses she said were client-facing wardrobe upgrades. The distance. God, the distance. I sat there in the dark kitchen for what felt like hours. Reading. Rereading. Trying to find a version of this that didn't mean what it obviously meant. But there wasn't one. There was no misunderstanding. No gray area. My wife had another phone. And she used it to run an entirely separate life. I didn't confront her that night. Or the next morning. Or the day after. That's what surprised me the most. I didn't explode. I didn't yell. I didn't wake her up and demand answers. Instead, I went quiet. Because anger fades. But strategy doesn't. I started watching. Really watching. Her patterns. Her routines. Every Thursday, like clockwork, she'd leave the condo around 6:30 p.m. Late meeting, she'd say. Always the same tone. Always the same calm confidence. And I'd nod. Pretend to believe her. But now I knew where she was going. The Hyatt Regency. Same room. Same man. Same lie. I used the second phone to confirm everything. She didn't even realize it was missing. That told me everything I needed to know. That phone wasn't a backup. It was a secret she thought was perfectly hidden. I began documenting. Screenshots, messages, dates, times. I even went to the hotel one Thursday. Sat in the lobby. Watched her walk in. Confident. Beautiful. Unapologetic. She didn't look around. Didn't hesitate. She belonged there. That hurt more than anything. I followed at a distance. Saw David meet her near the elevators. He smiled like he owned her. Put his hand on her lower back like it was his right. And she didn't pull away. That's when something inside me broke. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly. Like a switch flipping. I stopped seeing her as my wife. And started seeing her as a problem. The next phase was planning. And I was very, very good at planning. I contacted a lawyer first. Quietly. Discreetly. Provided everything I had. The second phone became the centerpiece. Evidence of ongoing infidelity. Clear. Undeniable. Then I dug deeper into David. Turns out, he wasn't just her boss. He was married too. 2 kids. Lived in Naperville. Clean reputation. Executive track. The kind of man who couldn't afford a scandal. Perfect. That's when the plan became something else. Not just escape, but exposure. I waited 2 more weeks. Collected more. Built a timeline so airtight it couldn't be questioned. Then I made 2 calls. One to David's wife. One to their company's HR department. I didn't threaten. I didn't rant. I just sent evidence. Clean. Organized. Professional. Like a report. And then I waited. The fallout started fast. Faster than I expected. Emily came home early one day. Pale. Shaking. Something happened at work, she said. I looked up from my laptop slowly. What? David's under investigation. HR. Someone filed a complaint. I nodded. Really? She watched me. Carefully. Like she was trying to read something behind my face. Yeah, she said. It's serious. I closed my laptop. That's unfortunate. That's when I saw it. For the first time. Fear. The next day, she realized the second phone was gone. She tore the condo apart. Cushions. Drawers. Bags. Panic rising with every minute. Have you seen my old phone? She asked, trying to sound casual. I met her eyes. No. That was the moment. The exact moment she knew something was wrong. 3 days later, she was suspended. David was terminated. His wife filed for divorce. Their entire situation exploded publicly within their company. Emily came home that night and broke. Crying. Begging. I made a mistake. It didn't mean anything. I love you. I listened. Quietly. No anger. No shouting. Just silence. Then I placed the second phone on the table between us. Her face drained instantly. You forgot this, I said. She didn't speak. Couldn't. I know everything. I continued. Every Thursday. Every message. Every lie. Tears streamed down her face. I can explain. You don't need to. That's when I handed her the papers. Divorce. Already filed. I've already explained it for you, I said calmly. She collapsed into the chair. Completely undone. But I felt nothing. Not rage. Not sadness. Just clarity. The process was quick. Clean. Efficient. Evidence does that. She tried to fight it first, then realized she couldn't. The phone destroyed any leverage she thought she had. I kept the condo, most of the assets, and most importantly, my peace. A few months later, I saw her once. At a coffee shop in River North. She looked smaller, quieter, like someone who had been stripped down to reality. She saw me, started to stand, then stopped. We didn't speak. We didn't need to. I walked out without looking back. Sometimes I still think about that night. The parking garage, the valet, the second phone, how something so small could unravel an entire life. But the truth is, it didn't destroy my life. It revealed it. And the silence that followed was louder than anything we ever said to each other. The end.